Maximus Analysis here for June 10th, 2015. We see a huge rally day today. The way the action looked, again, we'll see if we have a follow through tomorrow. It just pretty much went very sideways after 11. It just ramped up. It was a huge move. I think this was around like 9 o'clock. And again, it is what it is, and we want to see it get above this, at least this 2015 area with some type of volume, because let's not discount that we are still sideways. So we still have to respect the higher low that is still in place. They respected these 2080 lows, and we'll see if they have some juice to go back up, because again, if they don't show any real follow through tomorrow, Friday, we don't know where it's going to go. So again, don't get overly anxious yet regarding the bull side. But this, again, you're trading with the trend, of course, but just don't be blinded to just one day of action that's showing you that, listen, there's still a big seller out there. NQ, same thing, pretty much giving you that type of move. The YM, same thing as well. They gathered the 18,000 area again. Hopefully they can have some follow through tomorrow and see some true follow through, not just another day up and it just basically hovers around 18 and 100 or something like that. So we'll go from there. IWM pretty much just sideways, popping up again. So nothing's wrong with that. You have crude popped up, but didn't really follow through that much today. But again, it's still looking good so far, but again, we want to see it clear 62, 63 area. 63.5 is right. Well, it's almost 64 is this high, so we just want to see it clear that stuff and go from there. Apple is still sideways. I would not look at this one day to just say, oh, okay, this is looking good, because also look at the volume, didn't really pick up that well as well. They was a huge day for Netflix, but it gave up a lot at the end. So we just want to be, aware that, I don't know if this volume is actually the high or basically the end of this trend. So you see that the start right here and the gap up is the last time we saw some really high volume like that. So usually there'll be high volume in the starts and high volume at the ends. So again, there was high volume here, it continued up. So again, we want to see it stay above these areas and not fade anywhere close to these 1613 areas. But still a very amazing run for that one, but I think they're holding the Nasdaq up with that one. You see Amazon is pretty sideways as well. You see that price line also is just sideways as well. You see Google again is still in the crapper, so don't let this one day fool you and just immediately say that you want to go along that name. And Tesla, we said that's 254 was resistance, and it's still holding. It's still holding. So it gapped down. I think it was down about $4.50 overnight, and then it didn't really do much on the day that was so big like today. So you had other names that you just have to still look at, which is Facebook. Facebook is still sideways. It's been sideways. I mean, how much more sideways can you get regarding just not going anywhere? I mean, it's just hasn't been a trending stock at all. Microsoft gave you a little bit. That's Microsoft gave you some, which is the Dow name that they're using. But again, it's still holding this gap area, but barely. So the volume is not really there, but really gonna have to be cautious regarding that one. You have Goldman. They're keeping the Dow up with. Okay, so remember, between Apple and Goldman up. What was Goldman up today? Goldman was up about $3-4, and again, that's all it takes for you to keep that name up, with a couple of things like Johnson & Johnson barely up. You have you also do IBM. So don't let that big number show you that they can move a couple of stocks and still have stuff that looks weak, but on the tape overall people think it's extremely bullish. We just want to be very cautious still, because stuff is still sick. So you still have Intel. Still, after all these down days, again, you just have they add $1 or 50 cents, and then they use Goldman Sachs and Apple besides that, it almost looked comical how straight the ES was after that 11 o'clock time. So also let's look at what the bonds did, and I think they're still breaking down, and you still have the dollar still coming down as well. And we'll see how this one affects gold and oil, but oil is still looking weak in my opinion, and gold still is in a downtrend. So you can see it's grinding up, had this little pop up, still hitting down, and might, if it breaks below this 1869 area, still has some downside potential as well. So don't let one day fool you, and look to see what names are really up and what trends are up for those names, because you don't want them to catch you out there with not looking at things properly. So the banks are looking better, but again, I think that there's a lot of manipulation going on right now. And out of the momentum names, I think besides Netflix, it's look like they got some high volume, exhaustion volume, but again, that doesn't mean you go short. Tesla didn't look good as well today, so again, we'll see how this one plays out. But again, don't let this one day get you fully back into the saddle of with the bears as yet. They haven't cleared, and they need to show us some follow through tomorrow.